When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata. Itisha pata 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 pata.
Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Niko fresh and clean. Niko fresh and clean. Niko na more favor, more flavor, more cheddar.
Marriage works manze ume come through.
Na watoi warembo so true.
Sina madeni mfuko imejaa.
Tuna live dream tuliota.
Amenipa mengi mengi. Amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji. Murembo wangu minji minji. Nasema amenipa mengi mengi. Amefanya mengi mengi. Murembo wangu minji minji. Murembo wangu minji minji. Baba.
When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
Nilifunga kwa siri, akani bless your siri, yendo mzimba zenga na ngamdu na zoza hapa deva wezi bonga.
Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu. Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu. Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu. Mimi na mimi na mimi na mimi nae baraka zangu.
Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Blessing me faster, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. Huku na huku na huku na huku, wako hakuna matata. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. When the praises go up, baraka zinashuka. Praise go up, baraka zinashuka. Na baraka zinashuka. Baraka zinashuka.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
A good morning to you. A good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caroline Murote, and this is a Sheversations. Karibu sana to Sheversations. This is a space where we amplify female voices. So anything that has to do with the girlies, we're going to talk about it here on Sheversations. Now, Sheversations is on YouTube and Power Radio website every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So tell a friend to tell a friend that this is where where it's happening. Come on over. Let us Sheversate. And I'm very excited on this particular Wednesday to welcome you to the show. Let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. You can do so through our socials. You can start with me personally, directly at Caroline_Murote. Caroline Nilea line. LINE_Murote, MUROTE. At TikTok, I'm at Carol Murote, CAROL Murote. And on Facebook as well as X at Caroline Murote. Now you can also reach out to us via our Power Radio pages at Power Radio on all 4 platforms. That will be Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as TikTok. Okay? And in case you want to follow along on our conversations, that's hashtag Sheversations and hashtag Sheversations with Caroline Murote and a hashtag Power Radio. And then you want to call me. You want to text me, you want to send me your voice note and let me know how it's going down. You can do so on 0748379231. Again, 0748379231. Those are the different ways in which you can get in touch with us. Now, if there is a song that you desire to be played, it is local, it is Kenyan, and this person is not getting their flowers, then feel free to let us know the name of that song, the artist, and why you want this person celebrated. Because here on Sheversations, we are all about celebrating unsung artists and just shouting out artists that are actually doing a really, really, really good job. And I'm excited for today. I'm excited every day, in case you're wondering, right? And we have been ushered into the show by a very beautiful shuka. Yes, because it says when the praises go up, barakas in shuka. And I come with blessings, okay? As long as you're here, you're a Sheversation list, we're Sheversating, then you know that you are blessed, because I'm a child of God and there is no other identity that I'm interested in carrying or representing. And that shuka is by the Dominion family, one of my favorite groups currently in the 254. And just go over to their pages and give them some support, especially if you enjoy good music. If you enjoy good music, you enjoy short videos, you enjoy a creative sound, great vocals, and people that love Jesus. If that's your vibe, then head over and give them follows on Spotify, YouTube, everywhere, the Dominion family. Already. So we're gonna jump into a couple more nice jams already, and then we're gonna come back and talk about what's going on.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
1005 songs and more.
I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them.
You can count me in it, a Christian till the end. I'm not ashamed of the gospel. It's the power of God for salvation. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it. Repping my side to the fullest, announcing Christ everywhere that I visit. First to the Jews, then the Gentiles. Jesus is my savior. I stand firm in faith, immovable, unshakable, hanging on the word of God. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it.
One of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end.
I am one of them, Christian until the end. I am but a day, child of the Vada day, or the Vada day. Those who stand for their faith, they not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the Father. Those who message him that the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the world.
One of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian till the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end. One of them, and I'm not ashamed. No, one of them, a Christian till the end.
K-Mo always on the beat. Huu mwaka ka unakata kumark time, sema amen. Na huu mwaka ka unataka ma good news, sema amen. Na huu mwaka ka umekata kukaa single, sema amen. Na ka umekataa ma procrastination, sema amen.
We have a blessing, we dominating.
This is how we enter.
Huu mwaka tuna take over.
This is how we enter.
We have a blessing, we dominating.
This is how we enter.
Huu mwaka tuna take over.
This is how we enter.
Dominate, 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 lazima tu dominate. Dominate, 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 lazima tu dominate. This year nitanunua gari.
Nitanunua gari.
This year nitamiliki mali.
Nitamiliki mali.
This year lazima niende mbali.
Lazima niende mbali.
Neno lako limeniahidi. So I'm ready, ready, ready.
Daddy bless kazi ya mikono yangu. Bless kazi ya mikono yangu. Daddy bless kazi ya mikono yangu. Bless kazi ya mikono yangu.
Mimi jokes lazima niweke kando.
Jokes lazima uweke kando.
Love jokes lazima tuweke kando.
Lazima tuweke kando. This year nitafika gym ready for the body fitness.
Oh wow, basi jokes weka kando.
Nikuwa strong, sina wakati wa kutolerate weakness.
Basi jokes weka kando.
Kula neno, kukesha na kuomba spiritual fitness.
Amen, basi jokes weka kando.
Nyota yangu itang'aa, nitaposti muwe witness.
Jokes lazima uweke kando.
We have a blessing, we dominating.
This is how we enter.
Huu mwaka tuna take over.
This is how we enter.
We have a blazing, we dominating.
This is how we enter.
Huu mwaka tuna take over.
This is how we enter.
Dominate, 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 lazima tu dominate. Dominate, 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 lazima tu dominate. Kazi yangu itapata favor, nitashika ganji.
Ninaziclaim.
Mikono yangu itafanya kazi, haitakufa ganzi.
Ninaziclaim.
Baraka zako hazina majuto, ni moto moto.
Ninaziclaim.
Baraka zako hazina majuto, ni moto moto.
Ninaziclaim.
So goodness and mercy shall follow.
Follow, follow.
Miracles, wonders shall follow. Goodness and mercy shall follow. Miracles and wonders shall follow.
Hatuko solo, tumekuja na kikosi. Vitu zitaflow, ni rahisi, no forcing. Maisha smooth lika imepigwa pasi. Juu mwaka huu lazima tuwe wadosi.
Tuko teke kama gari ya mirandu kibila breki. Tuko freshi, fiti na mwaka huu hakuna kusleki. Tumejazwa na anointing. Tunariba shakaka. Injili ina dominate. Injili ina dominate.
Huu mwaka kumekata kukoni, wasema amen. Huu mwaka kumekata umasikini, sema amen.
lazima ushike ploti, sema amen. Huu mwaka lazima ushike title, sema amen. Dear friend, I pray that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. In Jesus' name, amen.
Anticipating, recalibrating, proliferating, no castigating. Anticipating, recalibrating. Hey, see, I'm anticipating to see your good works manifest. Participating in the business of the kingdom, no rest. Winning souls, making disciples to the end, teaching those who are called to you. Renewal of the mindset, hey. Whoever believes in him, greater things shall he do, and even greater things than this shall he do. Hey. Anticipating to behold your good works. Participating. Make a go get souls harvest for the kingdom, huh? Anticipating to behold your good works. Participating. Oh, make a go get souls harvest for the kingdom, huh? Anticipating, participating, perambulating, proliferating. Anticipating, participating.
When you calling, all my ears open. When you send, God, keep my feet running. Love God and keep hoping. Eyes open, ears open. Matters of the king require heart and haste. When you take hold, ain't nobody standing in your way. Touched by the Savior, anointed I am. No longer living carnal, I done with him, yeah. Make time, serve God, make the moves. Live love, Holy Spirit, get the groove. Shady, I'm not. Faithful, I am. Homies making all around the globe. Anticipating to behold your good works. Participating. Make a go get souls harvest for the kingdom, huh? Anticipating to behold your good works. Participating. Oh, make a go get souls harvest for the kingdom, huh? Anticipating, participating, perambulating, proliferating. Anticipating, participating, perambulating, proliferate. Participating, perambulating, proliferate. Anticipating, participating, perambulating, proliferate.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Welcome back to Sheversations, my loves, and the time is 19 minutes past 11, and that was Anticipating by 1005 Songs and Muhanji. Right before that, we had Dominate by Pendo Muziki and Dominion Family yet again, and then we had One of Them by 1005 Songs and Shani. Can you tell that I like 1001 songs, 1005 Songs and Dominion Family? Can you tell? Because it's not subtle. It's very much out there, and yes, I am a fan. So if you know anybody from Dominion Family and 1005 Songs, Word of Molo Muhanji, let them know that I am a fan. And Shani, Miss Shani is doing her thing already. So today is Wednesday, and what we do here on Sheversations every single Wednesday is that we crush on somebody spectacular with valid reasons, with justification. Not that you need that much justification. You know, it's normally just a chemistry. It's normally just like, you know, I feel feel what I feel, the heart wants what it wants. But no, here on Sheversations, when we're crushing on somebody, it is because there is a justifiable, backable reason, one that carries a substance already. All right, and so who are we celebrating today? Who are we shouting out? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are shouting out one of your faves, Miss Nikita Kering. Already, Nikita Kering is Kenyan sweetheart, okay? She is somebody who, if you're not Kenyan, it's okay. I forgive you. That's fine. All right? But if you're Kenyan and you're not familiar, you don't even need to be a fan. But if you're not familiar with who Nikita Kering is, come on. It's like being in America and not knowing who Beyonce is. It's okay to not be a fan of her music for whatever reasons you have. That's allowed. But why would you not know them? Like, know of their existence, know why they're a big deal. Why? So yeah, Miss Nikita Kering is a Kenyan sweetheart, songstress, soulful goddess, and she's been doing her thing for a few years now. And she's honestly such an inspiring rising star in the music scene in our country. So that's our crush. That's who we're crushing on today. She's been doing her thing. Let's talk about her. Let's get to know a little bit about who Miss Nikita Kering is. And she grew up in Nairobi as a fourth of five children. So her parents were like, no, we're going to have ourselves plenty, because in this generation, ukisikia watoto, they're like more than four. Unajua tu that the parents were comfortable with children, because I feel that after you've had 10, 11, 12 siblings, the idea of doing the same, just repeating the same pattern in your family, you're like, I'm tired. So kudos for parents who are not tired of children and continue to give birth to many children. All right. So she's number 4 out of 5 children, and she attended Riora Springs Academy, as well as Kilimani Junior Academy and Brookhouse International School. In Brookhouse, she went there because of a scholarship that supported her music ambitions. So she won herself a scholarship, and she was able to hone her musical craft in Brookhouse International School. And one of the most interesting things about Miss Nikita Kering is that she is not new to fame. No. Right now, as a young adult, yes, she's doing her thing, but she has been doing her thing, right? And she began performing in public at the age of 10 years old. And she had a standout performance during Emmy Kosgei's album launch that launched her into the national spotlight by the age of 14. She cut in race for Emmy Kosgei. Imagine. Like, what is that? So between age 10 and age 14, she's just been doing her thing, and she was a young girl with a big dream, and we can tell why. And one of my favorite moments by Nikita Kering is an interview. I can't remember if it's Citizen or NTV, where she said that she wants to be a pilot. And it's so funny because there was another video of her reacting to that interview, and she's like, guys, please stop asking me about, like, it was just a funny thing, because she's like, yeah, that's what I wanted at that point. I didn't understand what it entailed, but I'm very comfortable, being an artist and a musician at this point. And she's very passionate about what she's doing. And in that interview, she was talking about how she loves being a part of the costume design. She wants to be involved in what she does with her hair, the makeup. So she's not just being prepped like a doll. She is actively involved in her image, and also dancing. She says she loves dancing, hence why her choreography is always top, because it's something that she's interested in. It's not just something she does because she's an artist, but she also talks about excellence. Yes, be talented, but be excellent, because there's artists, and we are all witnesses that there are artists who are talented, but all they do is stand there and sing. And that's okay, right? But it's not the most exciting thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But when now there's an artist who stands, sings, dances, is involved in their costuming, they're creative, they're doing all sorts of things, they're experimenting, they're growing, then that's the more interesting artist. Because at the end of the day, what makes you stand out is not just the existence of your talent, but what you do with your talent, okay? And that's one of the reasons why, on a professional level, seeing her professional discipline, I really respect Miss Kering, because she goes all out. She's not content to just sing. She wants to be a star. She already is, but she's putting in the work intentionally. She's not just a lazy artist already. And let's just look into a few of her breakthroughs in her music career. She was selected for Mr. Easy's Empower 100 initiative in 2019. Empower 100, a music initiative by Mr. Easy, where he was empowering young stars, and she received $3,000 to produce her breakout hit Tragedy. So I'm just gonna check how much $3,000 is in Kenyan shillings right now. Right now, it is a 387,918, right? 387,918 Kenyan shillings. So that's 300K. No, actually, almost just about 13K, 13,000 shillings shy of 400K currently, right? So let me see how much it was in 2019. Okay. We're gonna find that, right? We are going to find that. We're gonna find that, and then when I find that out, I'm going to come and tell you how much it was. But that's how much she got to be able to produce Tragedy, which was her breakout hit. And she actually became a finalist in the Empower 100 program. And this established her as a rising talent. This was her debut. And then she released A Side of Me, which is her debut EP, 2021. Now, if you know what EP stands for, the first person to let me know, I'm going to shout you out and we can have a conversation, and I promise you're not going to regret it. So let me know, as a music lover or just as somebody who's happens to be listening to radio right now, what does the term EP? And I challenge you to just text it before you Google it, okay? Just write what you think it is, and then still you can Google it and then correct yourself. That's fine, okay? But yeah, she had her debut EP labeled, or rather named, why would I say labeled? Named A Side of Me, and she released this in 2021, and it actually topped Apple Music Kenyan charts. That's wild. And she was featured as Apple Music's rising star, Africa Rising Artist. And it was a first ever for East Africa. Imagine all the East African superstars we've had, all of them. And she was the first person to actually, be named as Apple Music's Africa Rising Star. And that's part of that's part of the spotlight moments that she has enjoyed in the span of her career that makes her truly a force to reckon with and really inspirational. And speaking of inspirational and forces to reckon with, we have awards and recognitions. We have plenty of them. So in 2018, she won the Pulse Music Video Awards and as the best new artist. And then in 2019, she went ahead and bagged herself 2 Afrima Awards, that's African Music Awards, and she got Best Female Artist in Eastern Africa, as well as a Revelation of the African Content, which for both of those awards, she's the youngest to ever win them simultaneously, right? The fact that she's the youngest ever to win them, and then also the first person to win those 2 awards simultaneously already. And in 2021, she bagged herself another set of 2 Afrima Awards, right? That's the African Music Awards. And she got the Best Female Artists in East Africa, as well as a Best African R&B and Soul Artist. Look at that. And then in 2022, she got the Spotify Equal Africa Artist of the Month in November. And this means that she was featured as a leading female voice at crafting authentic Kenyan music on the platform. Look at that. So Apple Music is like, yeah, we like this girl. Spotify jumps onto the chat and says, yeah, agree. Yes. And in 2024, she got the African Achievement Awards in Seattle, which is an award for excellence in music and youth empowerment. And this was basically honoring her for the impact that she has beyond music into social advocacy, which we are going to talk about in just a second. And I want to say this about the privilege, of being gifted and talented. That's not something that you give yourself, okay? That's something that you get from God. All right. You can't, if you don't have the singing ability or singing gift, it doesn't matter how well you learn to hone your voice, you are only going to get so far. Okay, you need to have the ability to do it well to begin with. Yes, how you hone that craft now determines how well you're going to sound at the end of the day. But this is to anybody who has a natural God-given talent, right? There's so many skills that are beautiful, that people celebrate as talents, but actually a talent is something that you're naturally good at. So whether or not you've put in the work, you have it. You were born with it. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. She is one person who shows, that, okay, no, you're not going to take this gift for granted. You're actually going to use it beyond. So she's a singer, but she's a force to reckon with. And I would say whether or not, I agree with the content of the music, I would say that Nikita Kering is like a young Beyonce in the sense that whether or not Beyonce had loads of people, because just like Beyonce, Nikita Kering also has a support with regards to her family. She has parents in her management team, just a lot of support in, just bringing her up as a young talent. And, same thing happened with the Knowles family, the mother, the father were very personally involved. But it's also a choice of, okay, now you're going to do it. Now you're going to take it. Now you're going to make something out of it and not just be, she's just a singer. No. There's a respect that you have whenever you talk about this person because they are a brand. They're not just a singer. There's a lot of artists, I'm sorry to say, but there is a lot of artists that are just singers. Beyond you singing, there's nothing interesting about you. Beyond you being talented, you have no personality because we can't tell what you think about things. We can't tell where you do what, for who. And Nikita Kering is not one of those people. She's a kind of a person who kama alienda mahali mtajua because her name matters in our society. And then what does she do with that? She uses her platform to voice out and add valuable input into social issues. And so beyond music, she's actually, she's involved in being very vocal about, advocacy, different things. And now in 2025, she actually represented Kenyan artists in the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, calling for better compensation and stronger intellectual property rights on behalf of continental creatives. So she was speaking as an advocate of Kenyan artists at the African Union. And this is just this year in May. Okay. And then she is a moderator this year in the US Kenya Creative Economy Forum. Look at that. And she's been engaged with global leaders, including Grammy President Panos Panay, to discuss monetization, collaboration, and rights for Kenyan creatives. So what am I saying? That there is a need for our local artists, our young artists to educate themselves on the business of music, the legality of music, what's being said, and who are the key players. How do policies affect your artistry? How do the way, labels are set up in your country, the labor laws with regards to, intellectual property and all of that. How does it, if nikama kujua finance bill, reading the finance bill and understanding it is actually the fire that really, really drove the anti-finance bill 2024 protests, because we understood that, okay, by the time I can't afford a loaf of bread, a packet of milk, sugar, unga, it's because there's a policy which was passed. And what's my role? So it's getting into the behind the scenes. So you're no longer on stage, you're not in the studio, you're not in your writing process, you're not performing, you're not at events launching or promoting your art. No, now you're with the decision makers. You have a seat at the table. As an artist, you understand the professionalism of your craft and the other side of your craft that affects the artistry, because the artistry is dependent on you. Whatever you sing, what you produce is dependent on you and your team. However, on this other side, there are so many things that would change, so many things that need to be advocated for or about or on, because if they're not, then there's no recognition, no appreciation or support systems that actually allow artists to further their craft. So this is a reason why we are crushing on Nikita Kering today. This is the reason why, because what do you mean you're just a singer while moderating at the UN? At the US Kenya Creative Economy Forum. What do you mean that you're just a singer if you're an advocate at the African Union, representing your whole country, representing people that are 40, 50 years older than you, because we have 60-something-year-old artists in Kenya that are still thriving, 70-something-year-old artists that are thriving. And yet it was this baby, I just the baby. She's a girlie who's representing, and that's something I love about this generation of Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, is that they are informed. They're not one-dimensional, even though the media does try to make them look like that. But that's not the truth. That's not the reality across the board. Yes, we young people are very vocal on social media. The shallow aspect of the young generation currently is what is at the top. It's literally visible everywhere, but that's not the reality of how every young person is. Right now, young people, Gen Zs and Gen Alphas even, I'm going to say that because I've seen these people are already doing things. They're very business minded. They're very innovative. I'm not going to spend my whole life studying for something I have no passion for, going to do a job that makes me miserable, that won't even pay me. They have actually seen through the lies of the systems. And Nikita Kering is one good example of realizing what needs to be done and actually doing it. And these are just a few things that she has said, because we value girlies like this that are not just talented, not just hardworking and achieving success in their artistry, but also doing beyond, going the step further and deciding to be a changing force in the system. And she has said this. So she said this in an interview with Pulse Live Kenya. She said, and I quote, "Music is not just a career, it's a calling. It allows me to express my deepest feelings and connect with people on a spiritual level." And then she said this in an interview with Gafla Kenya. She said, I quote, "I believe in using my voice for good, to speak out against injustices and to inspire change," end quote. So that is just a couple of things that I thought were of note and really inspirational with regards to who Nikita Kering is. And just the interesting thing about, her style and her message is that she has themes in her music. For example, Tragedy, X, and the Other Side EP. She addresses mental health. She addresses healing. She addresses self-worth, as well as gender-based violence. And she's spoken as a generation-aware Gen Z voice that values both creativity and conscience. She understands the struggles that those that have gone before her have experienced, and she honors that. She understands her responsibility currently, her capacity, the scope of her influence, or the potential of the influence that she could, have moving forward currently and moving forward. And she takes full advantage of that. And there's nothing as beautiful as a young, talented public figure who is aware of their power and using it in the right way. And that's what I want. That's what I desire for all artists in our country, especially the youth, because I believe the children are the future. That's what Miss Whitney Houston said. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Does she say teach them well or treat them well? Either way, both are valid. And why should you appreciate Miss Nikita Kering? In case you've not gotten a reason, it's because she has authentic influence. She actually showcases a strength through content and not just cosmetics, okay? Not to say that there's anything wrong with cosmetics, but truly the whole Barbie doll appeal is boring if that's all you carry, because Barbie dolls are played with and they're fantasies and they're not real things. Do you understand? You project your desires onto a Barbie doll. I had a Barbie doll. I wish I had a doll that wasn't a Barbie. I wish I had an Afro, a Serena Williams doll, an Oprah Winfrey doll. But most of us had Barbie dolls. Most girls were bought for Barbie dolls growing up, whether it was the real fancy ones with 6 million changes of clothes or the cheap ones with one outfit that would, unravel at some point. And my issue with cosmetic influence is that what are you actually changing other than somebody's outward appearance? Because this matters to attract you to what is on the inside. Because if I was to marry somebody deathly attractive, that would only last, my interest in them would only last so long, unless I just wanted them there as a trophy or as a token. Okay? And so if you want to value people for who and what they actually are, you want to encourage our young ladies and gentlemen as well to have value beyond the physical, then you need to make sure that whatever you're putting out there, the influence that you're putting out there goes beyond cosmetics. Nikita Kering always looks good. She always looks good. Cosmetically, she is T. She is on top of her business, okay? But she has a lot of value beyond that. And she's a young voice of integrity. This is another reason to appreciate her. She's a social media native who stands up for message over fame. So that's another thing that to me sets Nikita Kering apart from other artists, because I am very appreciative of talent. I will watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians because it's a well put together show. Is it socially garbage? I would say yes, and this is not allegedly, that's my opinion and I'm entitled to it. The content therein is garbage, but is it entertaining? Is it a well-produced show? Is it, is it trash reality show genius? 100% it is. So I am somebody who will consume and I will appreciate what has value, okay? Where the value is, now we start being more specific. But when it comes to Nikita Kering, she's not just famous for being talented and being famous. She actually is more intentional about, okay, what am I going to do with this fame? So if I was to ask Kim Kardashian, what have you done with your fame other than be cosmetic and teach people to be cosmetic and make money and be a cultural vulture on social media, what would she have to say for herself that would be a justifiable rebuttal to the claims, that you don't offer society much value except for cosmetic things, plastic surgery, look nice, for what reason, to what end? And so Nikita is more interested in having message that has value as opposed to just being famous, okay? So if you're famous, ask yourself, what are you famous for? When people think about you, what do they think about? Oprah has had a lot of controversial stories about her involvement with very problematic people, about her blackballing certain artists, especially women, in the industry. For example, they've had a few scuffles with Taraji P. Henson, and that's okay. Like, it's not okay. Put that aside. That said, what do we know Oprah for? We know her for being the best Black talk show host ever. Even if she's still not doing nobody has gotten to the heights that Oprah did in the 2000s. To date, on TV, on social media, there might be people with more followers, but nobody has that much influence. And the thing is, she would have authentic conversations with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a drug dealer, you were a porn star, you were just you're an actor, it didn't matter. Oprah had a way to bring the soul out. So she really defined a heavy part of the culture when it comes to talk show hosting. And that's what we remember her for. So when you think about your favorite celebrity, what do they use their fame for? What are they known for? And that's one of the reasons why we're giving props to Miss Nikita Kering. And she's also a credible leader. She's not just talented. Being talented is good. It's beautiful. But she's a leader, meaning that she takes what she has and she uses it and pours into the people who are around her. She influences people in a useful way. She gives direction to people. That's what leadership is. And she's been continuously recognized by Afrima, by Spotify, by Apple Music, by African Achievement Awards, and multiple forums for her integrity as well as upliftment goals. She's not just here to sound good. She's here to change the game, and she's doing it really, really, really well. So if you care about having good artists around you, okay, then support them. Play their songs. Talk about what they talk about what they're doing, what their wins are, and actually decide to partner with the work that they're doing. So this is just a call to action to everybody. If you're tired of seeing fluff on the socials, you're tired of seeing fluff on YouTube, then whoever you like, go and support them. There was The Breakfast Show, which is arguably the biggest urban hip hop radio show in America. And that means potentially in the world, because we understand that when it comes to social media, America is at the center of everything, because social media wise, they are on top. So if this is the biggest radio show in America for urban hip hop and urban lifestyle, and you're there, it means that the whole world is going to know about it. So Bien was recently, month and a half ago, hosted on The Breakfast Show. And one of the things that came up is that y'all are not following him on the socials. Like, how is it that he's being celebrated as Kenya's biggest artist, or one of Kenya's biggest artists in this current era, but he hasn't even reached 1 million followers on YouTube? That's ridiculous that his songs would get more than 10 million views, but he's not, meaning that you consume but you don't support. You enjoy but you don't support, meaning that you just have cosmetic value in your interaction with this person's art. So as a listener, as a viewer, you need to understand that you do have a role to play in how you shape the cultural landscape of art in your country. Whoever it is that you love, support them, repost them, share, because if you don't, whoever is making nonsense will be supported by their supporters, and that's what the algorithm is going to catch onto. Because I promise you that if I have 1,000 viewers on my WhatsApp status, and I am always putting you onto my favorite artist, I'm always shouting them out, I'm always sharing their content, best believe 1,000 people who didn't know that artist are going to know that artist, and a few, maybe 10 out of that 1,000 status viewer are actually going to click on a link, or they're going to look this person up on social media, potentially like that artist, potentially subscribe to their channels, and potentially become a fan. And that's how you influence, by actually pouring support over what it is that you love, which is why every single Wednesday we do our best to come here and put out the kind of, artistry that we love to see, by highlighting what is it that matters, so that in case you don't know who to support and you don't know why to support them, then you can come here to Sheversations every single Wednesday. Every single Wednesday you come over here and you tell us, and you learn, you just, enjoy with us who you're supporting. And I would love, really, really love to know, who are you excited to listen to? Who are you inspired by? Who has been doing a good job in your eyes? And you can let us know on 0748379231. This is on text, SMS. You can call us. You can send a voice note. Okay, if you want to talk to me during show hours, then show hours 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Sheversations, but still, before and after that, we'll still get your feedback, and then we can have a conversation about that on air. All right, so now we are going to enjoy a couple of jams by Nikita, so that you can, see what I've been talking about. In case you're not familiar, that would be wild, but this is how you fix it. Okay, so this is X coming up next, gonna be followed by Tonight and Happy With You. So enjoy.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Mistakes shine away. I would have held you closer if I could. You're bitter than I could ever taste. Now I'm in love and I'm effing wasted. I would have held you closer if I could. And even when we try to throw this all behind, I find myself inside of your arms again. And what if I'm insane and taking me for granted? I would never come to forgive myself, 'cause I ain't tryna be your ex, so don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. I'm on my way, yeah. So don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. See you wasting a chance in the corner, like you don't know I'm down to be on. Yeah, I keep on reminding you that you're mine. You're you're gonna wife me, and I'm hanging in the backseat, and I'm waiting for a chance to say bye, 'cause we've been waiting for love that is real. And even when we try to throw this all behind, I find myself inside of your arms again. What if I'm insane and taking me for granted? I would never come to forgive myself, 'cause I ain't tryna be your ex, so don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, yeah. So don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. Hanging in the backseat, hanging in the backseat. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, And even when we try to throw this all behind, I find myself inside of your arms again. And what if I'm insane and taking me for granted? I would never come to forgive myself, 'cause I ain't tryna be your ex, so don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, yeah. So don't call me if you wait. Tryna vibe on my way, I'm on top of my game. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, yeah. Build this energy between you and me. Take if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. Build this energy between you and me. Take if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. Show me your place, I'm on my way right now. Keep me awake up in your bed, I'm down. Playing my song, you feel the bass line now. Turn me around and he said, why not on me? Body girl, why not on me? Pick it up, you dropped your crown down, shorty. It be white, so name your price today. Open your eyes, up on this ride, I'm ready. Feel this energy between you and me. Take it if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. Feel this energy between you and me. Take it if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. There you go again, there you go again. Looking innocent, but that don't mean you haven't taken. It's irrelevant, all your sentiment. Baby, cover me. There you go again, there you go again. Looking innocent, but that don't mean you haven't taken. It's irrelevant, all your sentiment. Baby, 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 baby.
Basi twende east tuone life ya maji. Nasikia we ndio Beyonce, Stana ndio Jay-Z. I really need your energy, tubonge mami. First date nilimshikia hiyo mbling easily, cause I'm really tryna invest you. Kiss and caress you, staki kukuforce bana dai ukuje kwetu tonight wapi venue. Wewe ndio menu, jibaga lafu adisia hizo zetu. I like the way you dress mami, unanimpress. And tonight I just want to caress. Anatem tumekosana, so unajua unani-stress. Usisikize how manambli, you're my only brush. Plus I don't kiss and tell, nina vibes kakatel. Wita nipatie koka lafu yo matel. Na sijikona ni diamond, it's so hard to tell. Mara I need you, I want you, does that ring a bell?
This energy between you and me. Take it if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. This energy between you and me. Take it if you want to. If you wanna come and take advantage of me tonight. Everything like it don't sound. Baby, do everything to make it unsound. Baby, 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 baby. I sing this song because of you, because of the love you made me know is true. I sing this song because of you, because I hope that you love me too. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I sing this song because of you, because when you leave I don't see no one else. I may be daft, I may be to say that I don't find this love. No, 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 I don't got proof, but just listen to my heart say. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm singing you this melody. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. I know that I am happy with you. Your smile, your voice, I know that I am happy with you. I'm happy with you. Your smile got the best of me, so I'm sure that this is meant to be. And even if this life ends now, I know that I am happy with you.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Welcome back to Sheversations, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And the time is 3 minutes to 12:30. It's 12:30 to 12. Jamini, not 12:30. It's 12:30 the day. It's 3 minutes to 12:30 the day. My favorite time of the day, and halfway into our Sheversations. I am excited. Mimi Niko excited. Niko very, very, very excited. No. We've celebrated Nikita Caring, okay? So that was X, yes, and then there was You and Me, yes, that imba na Little Minor. Tujui guys, Mauda kuzao sasa. You see now she's busy saving the world, looking at what the artists, the policymakers in the AU have to say, and now we don't know who she's dating. It's very disappointing, guys. Let's be a little bit shallow. Let's contradict everything I've just said on this show because I want to know. Sometimes it's helpful. Yeah, but I love it. I love it for her that that never lasts. Drama ya una date nani, when, how, for how long will he break up? She uses it for her music because I can tell you that vibe actually came to promote the song. Mi naona walifanya hizo ma video and they were everywhere together so that they could create hype for this particular You and Me song. Even though mi naona sijui, if they love each other in real life, that would be cute, but it's truly not any of our business, okay? Already, all right. And so now what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about modesty, we're talking about the media, and we're talking about moral policing, okay? That's heavy. That's a lot. That's a lot because modesty is like, haya. Sasa modesty, right? What is that? We're going to define what modesty is. And now the media's relationship with modesty, tricky. This is not an easy, this is a triggering conversation. Wacha niseme hivyo. It's a highly, what is the Kizungu? What's the English? You know, something that brings up fire. There's a word, contentious. Yes, this is a highly contentious matter. Like everybody has a very strong and potentially offensive, potentially triggering opinion and perspective on this particular topic. And moral policing, because our morality is another thing of morality ni nini wapi where, because Mimi, I'm from this house, this culture, this religion, this way of life. Sasa unaniambia sifai kufanya kama nani? Like, as long as I'm not breaking the law, who are you to tell me what's right and what's wrong? Okay, that's deep, heavy, and we're gonna do our best to unpack. All right, we're gonna do our best to unpack why women's bodies are still public property in Kenya. This is in the era of femicide, because femicide is still a thing. It's not trending. It's not popular to talk about femicide anymore, but it is still a thing. But even then, this touches onto public property. Public property is like zile chores are public. That's as public as it gets. Like unalipa 10 bob, unapewa tissue, and you literally pee on the floor because they don't have seats. The public toilets in Nairobi CBD. Yeah? I guess it's because of hygiene. Sijui, me, I always prefer a seat I can sit on because I will sanitize it, I will wipe, but to each their own, okay? If I was in charge of the city, I would not have squatting toilets, but that's me. That's just Caro, right? Public property means that you do what you can. There's no one who's going to shout at you like, why did you not aim into the hole? Bona umesusu kwa floor instead of pale ndani ya pale kachimo? Why is your poo-poo dropping on the surface as opposed to inside? Why did you not flush? Because it's open to everybody. Nobody's checking your ID. Nobody's asking you, madam. Like, as long as you've shown up at the door, they're going to allow you to enter. And actually, you just enter. You only stop there to pay for tissue, 10 bob tissue, which is, that's a lot of money for the amount of tissue they give you. But it's enough tissue to do whatever you're doing. All right? You just enter. You don't need to ask for permission. And 24/7, you can use those toilets. Even in the middle of the night. Public, now imagine your body. I told you guys a story last week. Was it last week when my body, 2 weeks ago, last week, 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Where my body was public property. A guy came, hugged me, told me to go. So he buys me chips, showed me money, and was telling me to allow him to hug him. A stranger. But now let's see what we're talking about with regards to the lens of moral policing as well as modesty and the media. So what is modesty and what are we saying about it? We're saying that modesty is not neutral. It's not one thing, okay? When we say neutral colors, we mean colors like brown, white, black. Why? Because they tend to blend with any other color. So if I'm wearing a black trouser with a red top, the black neutralizes the red, because now, yes, the top is bright, it's red, it's colorful, but it's not shouting because the trouser is black. It neutralizes, it blends. It will go well with anything. That's what neutral means. Neutral means that when you blend it, it does not overwhelm. It helps bring balance. Now, modesty is not neutral, meaning that there's not one way to look at modesty. And that's a fact, okay? Modesty is cultural because Pale Mzanzi, down south, there is girlies doing their traditional ceremonies, coming of age ceremonies, and titties are out. The Zulu people, the Swati people, and other tribes that we don't get to hear. Tribes in Namibia, there's places in Kenya, in Turkana, where you walk around, titties out, and nobody's shocked. Nobody's raping anybody. This is normal. And they are modest. Nobody's going around saying, Kai, unatuonesha matiti. Nobody. So that's a good example of modesty is cultural. However, now, for example, for those Swati and Zulu tribes, once you're married, then your titties are not public property. Because now you have a husband, so you're no longer, there's nothing, you're supposed to cover up. Now that's their aspect of modesty, but you can still wear the short traditional skirts. So all their ceremonies, all the women can show up with their nice short skirts. Nobody's going to say, hey, weni mama, mbona umevaa hivi? Yes, the married women's skirts are normally a bit longer than because I mean, when you can see somebody's butt cleavage, when you can see the bottoms of their buns, when the skirt is, that short, that's how the young girl skirts are. it doesn't have to be that short, but if it's that short, nobody cares. Like, they are short in nature. So the married ladies' skirts can be longer, but they don't need to be either. So now imagine a woman who has given birth to 4 children and it's just, her body looks like a mother that has given birth to 4 children. And that doesn't look any one way. And one of the ways that kind of a body could look like is cellulite, just a chubby, lots of, healthy flesh. Imagine that out. And nobody is telling this mama, sasa mbona umevaa hivi? Imagine their whole arms out, nini, because, they wear vests. They don't wear t-shirts. They can if they wanted to, but they typically don't. The traditional one is it doesn't cover your arms. So a lot of mothers tend to cover their upper arms because maybe they're big, maybe, maybe they're saggy and whatever. You have a bye-bye arm like me, maybe. And nobody in that culture is saying, ew, mbona umevaa hivyo? Mbona uko uchi? Mbona unatuonesha mapaja? It's not a thing. So modesty is cultural. Number 2, modesty is religious. Okay? Because as a Christian, as a contemporary Pentecostal Christian, there's a particular way I'm supposed to dress and a particular way I shouldn't. Yes, if I came here and you guys are seeing half of my titties, best believe somebody somewhere in my church is going to go like, girl, what are you doing? Cover up. Because that's not within the value system. Okay? If I was a Muslim woman called Hamza, yes, or Amina, I need to have a hijab on because it is not respectable for me to have my head uncovered as a Muslim woman. Now, it is also political. Okay? Because who are you as a CEO of an organization? How dare you show up to work in a corporate space, in sweatpants and a vest? How dare you? How dare you as a senator come to work in something shining and shouting? Political doesn't just mean politics. It means power and social class levels. Okay? So if you are if you're in a board meeting, there's a particular way you're expected to. So modesty is very, 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 dependent on what aspect and which angle are we looking at. So I just wanted to start off from there. All right. So in old African cultures and some current ones, modesty wasn't about hiding skin. All right. It marked life stages like age, like marital status. For example, Maasai women's robes versus girls. So it's robes. So if people are showing titties, they will show titties. It's the robes that will show difference. So modesty now was about in order for you to be acceptable as this particular person in the society who holds this status, you hold this position, then this is how you're supposed to carry yourself. And this culture dictates that you must wear these kinds of robes. So it wasn't about hiding skin. Modesty was never about covering up because the perspective of the woman's body became very sexualized in a very Western way. And the male gaze took priority over who are we as a people. All right. And then pia tuko na colonialism. Hatuwezi sahau. Me personally, I can't forget that it brought Western Christian rules. So you're hearing not just Christian rules, but Western Christian rules, because why are you telling Black boys and young men to shave their head close to their heads? But you, sir, ma'am, can keep long hair. You, sir, you missionary from wherever, you can keep long hair and still love Jesus. But Black boys, Black men must have clean, close shaves. Make it make sense. That's a double standard. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about the religious, what does the Bible say? Because even the Bible was interpreted in very Western lenses, which makes sense because they're the ones who brought it, but the intentions were very suspect. Very, very, very suspect. So for example, skirts, shoulders, and that really mixed with purity teachings and modern social norms. So I once went to a church where there was a particular female minister who went on stage and shouted. Guys, I don't mean scolded. I don't mean admonished. I mean she high raised frustrated voice at girls in the church to never wear anything that shows their upper arms, because in her culture where she comes from, this is an intimate and sexual part of your body. No, guys, I crowed, I scramped, all the wrong English words to show shock and alarm, but like internally, because I was like, girl. So let me give you background, because nobody would know who this person is. So this person was from a particular tribe in Zimbabwe. This is a university students ministry in South Africa. I'm Kenyan living in Botswana. So you're seeing all the cultures there. Those are 4 different countries. So in that ministry, there were Nigerians, students, university. There were Ghanaians, there were South Africans, there were Zimbabweans, mostly those. That was mostly, and then me, the Kenyan, because we were I was literally the only one. Okay. So out of the South Africans, because we're in South Africa, so those are the South Africans plus the foreigners. All right. So you are in a university, with international students and local students, and this is a modern university. It's not religious in any way or form, and we are there talking about Jesus and everything. And you go on stage, it's fine, it's okay, you are one of the pastors. She was not the main pastor. She was not the lead pastor, the head pastor. However, it was so strange to me that you're coming and shouting at us with regards to your culture, because we're not in your country. And that's, whatever you're saying is not valid here, because we were very modestly dressed in that church. And I mean, as per South African standards, no, guys, we were wearing clothes and wearing them well in a very respectable manner, culturally very respectable spirit, like according to Christianity, there is nobody who would ever say mbona umevaa hivyo, like na huku ni church ama hizi ni mambo ya Yesu. No. And so I was very disappointed. And now that's my thing of, if you're going to preach to me as Carol, because I also preach to people, don't come and tell me why I am wrong in your culture. In your culture. But I'm not in your culture, so you've already failed. I'm sorry. As far as winning me over, you have already failed, because I'm not practicing your culture. If you want to teach me something, teach me something. Don't come and wrong me on something that I do not practice. I do not hold myself to that standard, because it is not my way of life. And now that's essentially what happened with the colonized version of Christianity, is that we were held to Western values of modesty as opposed to Christian values of modesty. So it makes sense that if I am from that Zimbabwean village or that Zimbabwean tribe, and it is not very good to show your upper arms as a Christian woman culturally in that culture, yes, I will influence you in that way. That's fine. You can teach me this. But it is different now when the colonizers came with intention to take and strip away our culture. And a lot of missioners were actually colonizers, and those are contradictory. In scripture, that does not work. Okay? You're not going to hold the Bible and the gun in one hand and say that Jesus sent you. We can read the Bible for ourselves. So I reject people that reject Christianity on the basis of this is a white man's religion. No, they tried to hijack it and they failed, because here I am, me, stubborn, keeping my hair natural, doing what I will with my body in a modest way, but being very proud and very African and very aware of who I am as a child of God, but as an African person who is not going to shun my culture and how God chose to bring me into this world. Okay? So there's that aspect of modesty, where now you're going to mix your culture with purity teachings as well as modern social norms. And that's just very boring. It's ineffective. It doesn't work anywhere except to leave people shamed and confused and misinformed, okay? I believe in modesty 100%. But I also try to educate myself on what does the Bible ask and require of us? What's the state of my heart with regards to this matter? I could be very immodest and wearing very long skirts, but let's not get into the Christian aspect of it, because we're looking at everything. So yeah, cultural, religious, and political. Now, the policing aspect of it is where women will not be dressing for themselves, but to avoid judgment from older relatives, from pastors, and from internet trolls. Not having conviction as to why you're doing what you're doing. Because even if I don't want to wear a long skirt, I want to reach to people in the village. I will want to wear a long skirt because I am convicted that culturally, this is what will show respect, will not contradict my message, will make it easy for what I am taking to them to be taken. But it is different if I'm wearing long skirts so that people don't think that I'm a hoe. That's pretense. It's hypocrisy. If you don't understand why you're not wearing, cleavage tops, short skirts, if genuinely educate yourself on it, because your heart is not right. Because the minute you leave this environment and you go somewhere where nobody has an issue, then you have no standing. You're just going to do whatever they're doing in that culture. So if you only dress because of what people say as opposed to what you're understanding, so yeah, do it according to how it goes with culture. Don't be rebellious. Don't be dishonorable to the culture that you're in. That's fine. But also, can you try and understand why it matters so that it can come from you as opposed to you resentfully doing it and you not doing it with a clean and accepting heart, okay? Now, do you dress for yourself or do you dress to avoid a shock and judgment? I want to know at Caroline_Murote at Power Radio and 0748379231. Again, 0748379231. I love that you guys are watching this on YouTube, so you can always rewind to get that number, but it's also on our socials. So you let me know, do you dress for yourself or do people dress for themselves, or do they dress to avoid a shock or judgment, or both? And elaborate, explain, right? And understand that people from different cultures living in different spaces within the same community are going to be diverse in their style, and we need to normalize accepting that, okay? You don't need to like my outfit, but accept that you are not raised like me. You were not raised by my parents. You don't go to my church. You won't understand me. You don't have to like it or accept it, but you don't have to like it, but like accept that this is the reality of life, because it will make it easier for you to be kind, loving, and also to reach out to somebody who you feel like is misguided about the way that they present themselves, okay? So these are conversations we need to have within churches. We need to have those conversations within media houses. We need to have these conversations with influencers, because wow, the influencing that happens in influencer spaces is crazy with regards to how to dress, what to wear, and fashion brands as well, because these are people that do set standards in our community with regards to modesty. So let's have a look at one of the angles of modesty. So some people say that modesty is moral and necessary, right? And these people argue that modesty protects respect. It protects spiritual credibility as well as cultural legacy. And I agree with this. I'm just very careful as to how this perspective is, how is it practiced? How is it practiced? Because the how is a big part of it. It's like having a policy, but the how it's being implemented also changes a lot about what you're going to think and feel. So I do agree with the fact that modesty protects respect. It protects spiritual credibility. It protects cultural legacy, because if I'm a 65-year-old woman in a particular village somewhere in the middle of nowhere, there is a particular way that if I dressed, I would not be respected anymore. Not because my value is in how I dress, but because in that culture, that is what they attribute your potential to be respected to. Okay? All right. And address how you want to be addressed is very common everywhere in our country, truly. Very few people have gotten past, I will only respect you if you dress according to my standards. A lot of people don't give value to people because they are worth value. They want to judge you based on your looks. And yeah, that's very common in human nature. There's a particular way I'll see you, and but me, I'm an artist, right? I am very expressive. You will not understand what I'm wearing when I'm wearing it. Why? Sometimes you're like, she looks weird. And I'm like, I like this a lot. I'm not being led by society's standards. I'm being led by how do I want to present myself. It matters to me. I don't really care about your judgment because I am expressing myself. And then there's coming from the aspect of in corporate, when it comes to branding, there is standards that you need to meet in order for you to serve your role vizuri. And then there's also, role models to schoolgirls. So for example, if a TV presenter always wears crop tops, so then what example are they setting? If crop tops are not seen for serious people, for serious matters, then it does matter how you dress. It does matter how you dress. And then we have a Bible verse, just as an example. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9 to 10 is used a lot to promote modesty, which says godliness with contentment. So jikubali, understand who you are, and actually be very comfortable with what that means, right? And that is what now brings you dignity. And then there is the element of fear when it comes to modesty being moral and necessary, where Western feminism is endangering African values, which is wild because it's the same Western culture that took us from our, half naked running around everywhere looking nice and being happy to dressing and covering up and being shamed. And then now it's also the same influence from the West and Western feminism that is teaching us to be ratchet and do what we want with our bodies. And that's so much contradiction in all of those statements. But the bottom line is that the West is messing with us and we need to have our own stance. We need to think for ourselves and not continue to say, si unasikia venye wamesema, si unaona venye wanafanya. It's true they are, but what are we doing about it? That should always be the heaviest part of this story. The biggest part of it, like we give so much time and space to the Western world because we don't spend enough time attributing to our own matter. So what are you saying? So what's your culture? So what's your influence? If you're not influential, you will always be talking about other people. You will never have anything to say about yourself, for yourself, from you. Okay? Right. And some women actually feel stronger when covered up. It's identity for them and it's not oppression. I feel good when I am covered up. But if it's a hot day and I don't feel like covering up, I will not cover up. But it depends on where I am because I don't want some people looking at me in weird ways because I'm going to feel uncomfortable and I might throw hands. I shouldn't throw hands, but I might be tempted to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm smart. I don't want to fight with crazy men in the streets. And my mom taught me that if you fight with a fool or you fight with a mad person, you are the problem. So when you know how many fools are in our city and you know how many mad people are in our city, then wisdom tells me to dress for the occasion, meaning do as much as you can to avoid that drama because you already know that the truth is that you should be free to dress as you feel. But the reality of it is that you're not going to have a very good time walking around in Nairobi wearing a certain level of cropped tops, cleavage out, short things. Like, it's frustrating because I grew up in a country where that was acceptable and that was okay. But so now we're just walking around feeling very, very happy. Now I'm going to give examples of very modest public figures. We have Kambua, who's beloved. We have Eunice Njeri. We have Samar Al-Faraj, right? We have Sissy Winans in the US of A. And they dress, according to this perspective, very respectfully, very faith-rooted, very powerful without glam or body exposure, right? And we need actually panels and events, guys, that feature modest fashion creators and speakers. And very soon we're going to be having a conversation with one such a creator, fashionistas with modesty. And we have conversation of what does that actually mean in our modern Kenyan context? What does it mean to be modest as a Christian girly? All right. And we need to be having these conversations on shows like Sheversations, right? And every other radio show, we need to be talking about this, you know, the legality of my dress, my choice, stripping people down, all of that, how it contributes to how the idea of how somebody should dress also influences how these men that end up killing us, how they see us, right? Not that it's okay, but like just analyzing the patterns between you've seen me, I'm wearing this, now what happens in your mind? How does that give you permission? Why does it give you permission to approach me in a certain way? And I've realized that in our city, Nairobi, I don't know about other parts of Kenya, but in Nairobi, if you're the men are annoying, okay? The hawkers, the makangas, the border riders, whoever, like the random men are going to just grab you, pull you, touch you. It's dumb. But there are factors that will increase your chances of you getting into this very rude and border pushing and uncomfortable experiences when you're dressed a certain way. So that's just the reality of it. You could use a camera, walk around Nairobi, do this research for like over a period of a couple of months, and then come back and tell me that that's not true. I was not doing an experiment. My life is an experiment. Okay? My life is an experiment. Like, let me tell you, when I'm wearing a long skirt and I look like somebody's mother, very few men will touch me. But when I look my age, I'm just wearing skinnies, I'm wearing a nice top, like you can see my figure, then it becomes a problem. And the reality of it is that culturally, the way we are set up, there are so many, permission. And it's a very skewed culture. We're talking about it. That's why we're talking about this. Churches, schools, these are conversations that we need to have, especially with the two genders present. We need to put out there, how are we supposed to be seeing women? How are we supposed to be analyzing how a woman is dressed versus how I should treat her now that she's dressed that way, and so on and so forth. And before we get into how modesty has been weaponized, because we've looked at, modesty and, just why modesty is a good thing. Now we're going to look at how modesty has been weaponized, but that's not before we get a jam. So this would be this would be Ombi by Shani. I'm gonna see you right after this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio. Thinking it's my charm, now I know your truth is where freedom begins. I'm prayed up, now I can define it again. Willpower never won any war, so I know to get to you I gotta get on the floor. Shida zangu, yeah, I've been here before, lakini kitu gani kweli ni ngumu for my lord. Maombi ni ibada na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mimi nakupa wetawala. Say maombi ni ibada na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mimi nakupa wetawala. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Yeah, flow ya Aroniko underway. Ninachofanya una bless my way. Wani mwangaza, even when the clouds are gray. Wanirudisha, hata nikigo astray. Misi worry, mina pray. Very early, akila day. On the daily, mi nita set my alarm. Mina jenga na wewe na jo foundation ni farm. Maombi ni ibada, na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily, nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mi nakupa wetawala. Say maombi ni ibada, na magoti ndiyo njia kukupata. Daily, nipate nikisala, maisha yangu mi nakupa wetawala. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Ombi langu faraja, imani yangu ibada, neema yako msaada. Faraja, faraja, ibada, ibada, msaada, msaada. Faraja, faraja, strength when I don't see it with my eye. Hope, yeah, she hold me close when my life flow. And love, keeping loving even when they do the most. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, yeah, yeah. It's easy for me. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, yeah, yeah. It's easy for me. 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 Never keep my mind off you. Daily in your word is true. Now I got eternity and now I got a life made new. Changed everything, who would I knew? You got me and my crew riding with you. Give our lives and our drafts to you. Make it brand new. Use it for you. Take all the glory cause it's all for you. Yeah. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, yeah, yeah. It's easy for me. You made a way, gave me grace. Now it's easy for me. I have a way, yeah, yeah. It's easy for me. 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 It's easy for me.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
And that was Easy for Me by Shani. And before that, we also had Ombi by Shani. So, yes, we've been talking about modesty, right? We're talking about how modesty is perceived, what we are supposed to do with this information, and why it impacts us as young Kenyan women, also as young Kenyan men, because it gives you perspective on how you can participate in making life much, much better. But let's continue learning, right? And so modesty has been weaponized, right? So in this particular way, in that modesty is subjective, right? So what's too short in Nairobi might be okay in Joburg. This is a fact. This is a true story because I happened to go to high school, primary school in Botswana. And let me tell you, when it comes to our uniforms, South Africa is like, when it comes to short, South Africa has short. Short! Like I grew up in Southern Africa, right on top of South Africa. But the short in South Africa shocked me. Okay? I went to a Catholic school, so we wore curtains, naturally. Curtains, that's what we call them. We call them tents, curtains, because they were not dresses. There was nothing flattering, nothing like gunia. There was no good name to call those uniforms, okay? Shout out to St. Joseph's College in Botswana. Shout out. And then my sisters went to a different high school called Naledi High, Naledi Senior School, secondary school. And they wore short skirts and they looked nice and cute, very, very nice and cute. But let me tell you, that didn't prepare me for how short in primary school and high school the skirts and the dresses were. So when we say modesty is subjective, guys, first of all, let's learn what subjectivity means. That you're judging me in the mall, like in Mimi where I'm from, my parents never said mbona umevaa hivyo. My pastor never said mbona umevaa hivyo. And that's the issue when you're not nuanced in the perspectives that you carry. You don't actually understand that everything is not gonna be according to your perspective because we don't come from the same backgrounds. Okay? And for example, Kikuyu women didn't historically cover breasts. My people didn't historically have to wear bras and cover their breasts. Like, I'm upset right now, right? But Swahili women wore buibuis showing only eyes. Traditionally, why? Because that culture was from the Arabic culture with Islamic influence. Even from back in the day, because the Swahili peoples were a mix so far back in time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like subjectivity. Because right now wearing short in Nairobi is sasa wendio, you and your village people are the ones fighting people. Because if you're not accepting the people who wear short skirts that are not decent based on where you come from, just accept this is about where I come from. You can't judge me. It's not fair. It's not very smart to judge people based on values that they themselves don't hold. So when a modest woman is one who doesn't wear short things, it's okay. That woman has people that see them as okay, where they come from and according to their way of life, according to their value system. So it's very problematic when you go around imposing your values on people. Yes, should there be standards? 100%. Should there be regulations? 100%. But this level of policing, having a mindset, that everybody should dress like the people in your church or the people in your village is very disappointing. Understand that people don't know what you know. They've not been taught what you've been taught. So only judge people who practice the same value system as you. If you come and tell me that you're a Pentecostal Christian and your boobies are everywhere, I can see everything except for the nipples, I will be concerned. In fact, I will pray for you. I will talk to you because I know what you believe and what we should believe. I understand your value system. However, if you tell me wewe haujaokoka, you don't care about church, you don't care about Jesus, the Bible is just a book, let me tell you, my opinion has nothing to do with your life. It's not my business because we have nothing in common. You're not my sister in Christ, you're not my brother in Christ, like haikuhusu. And even then, different churches have different standards, okay? Very, very different, right? There's churches where you cannot have facial piercings, and then there's Caroline Gathoni Murote. So I hope that we are learning something. So modesty is subjective. Modesty culture blames victims. Hey, what was she wearing? She got raped. Instead of holding the attacker accountable, you ask this person, so the kids that are raped, what were they wearing? The Muslims that wear buibus, what were they wearing? The nuns, the Catholic sisters that get raped, the girls that are really modest, very covered up, what were they wearing? Why were they raped then? Okay, stupid. And also male Instagram influencers can post scanty pics while women get shamed. So there's also that aspect of why is it okay for a man to pose with his shirt open, but a girl can pose in her short things or in a bikini? Double standards. Very double standards when it comes to modesty cultures of what is and is not acceptable. And it's like, no, if your chest is sexually appealing or your chest is part of your naked body and you're not supposed to make me stumble as a woman, why is it okay for you to have your chest out if I shouldn't have my chest out? Because how do you know that I'm not looking at you and lusting after you? Don't show me your chest. I don't want to. If I'm not allowed to have my chest out as a Christian woman, I'm sorry, as a Christian man, I know you don't have the boobies. That's fine. That's okay. I'm not pretending we're the same. I understand the effect is different. But also you just cover up because now I'm looking at your chest instead of listening to the pastor. Now it's like, Caroline, what did they teach you in church today? I'm just remembering chest, because you want to be immodest and the standards are double standards. We don't hold the two genders to the same standards. And yes, I know the bodies are different and, we respond to each other in the different genders differently, but still, those double standards, they're there 100%. And then we have politicians like Millie Othiambo Karinyamu getting judged for outfits more than policy positions. And honestly, in the political space, that one is just stupid because what do you mean? She's wearing an African attire and she's being shamed in parliament. What do you mean she's wearing an off-shoulder top and she's being shamed? Not off-shoulder, sleeveless top. That's just crazy, okay? And then we have Nikita Kering, Femi Wan, Mandy, and they get called out for attention seeking. So if you don't understand the context of art in Kenya, secular art in Kenya, you're going to get very tired if you don't understand what is acceptable, what is even celebrated. Because based on which standards are you judging these people? Do we come from the same house? Do we come from the same moral viewpoint? So it's very tricky. But unless you're telling me to believe what you believe, then it's also very tricky for you to expect me to dress and present myself the way you do, because there's a reason why you dress that way. There's a reason why you have no fashion sense. There's a reason why you wear every gunia that will fit you. Even me, sometimes I wear gunias that fit me. Sometimes I don't care, but I know I don't look nice. But I don't care. I'm well aware of it. I'm not going to be shocked if somebody was to judge me and say that I'm dressed anyhow, right? And somebody else who really cares about their appearance for the sake of their career, they know what sells in that industry. Instead of having conversations that are educative, if you weaponize and slut shame these women and decide to make the topic of discussion sleeveless tops as opposed to policies, then that's actually weaponizing modesty. That's what it is. All right. We've seen that modesty is a beautiful thing. We've understood that modesty is cultural, it's religious, it's political, it is not neutral. And now I'm going to give you some examples, right? Nendo's 2024 study, which you can find in Vogue. You can find it in the Stiftung Wissenschaft, and that's an article. That's like an online article. If you want the spelling, it's STIFTUNG and Wissenschaft. That's WISSENSCHAFT, right? So you can Google that, but there's also has been documented on Vogue. So you just need to put Vogue and type in Nendo. So in 2024, Nendo's study shows that online gender disinformation linking modesty and standards to political agendas. Okay, you want to go and look at that. And then we also have Reuters, which is a journalism agency, reporting that before Kenyan elections, women politicians face abuse that includes sexualized mockery and disinformation. And many drop social media because of it. And a lot of it is geared towards their looks and shaming them for what are they wearing. Nini, 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 nini. So this means that modesty is political. It means that there's agendas in how you would tell women to dress. Okay? If you want to be seen as somebody who's doing something about sexual violence in this country, you'll think that going onto a public platform and saying that women need to dress better is going to get you anywhere. It's going to get you a lot of attention. It's going to trigger a lot of people. It's going to, have a lot of very chauvinistic, unnuanced people, including women with internalized hatred, saying a lot of very toxic things about women that have been abused sexually and blaming what they were wearing. Let me tell you, we said in our last show that you don't have any permission to cheat on somebody because they're not treating you well in the relationship. In the same way, guys, you don't have permission to rape someone just because of what they're wearing, even if they're a prostitute. It sounds unrealistic, but it's the truth. And sometimes the truth is not taken very well, right? It might be not how our society works, but let's at least have the honest truth that you're not supposed to be, blaming victims of sexual abuse. You're supposed to be dealing with the fact that there's a man who lacks self-control and believes that it's this woman's fault, that they cannot, men who are deemed to be very intelligent, more capable than women. Generally, if you just want to be general without looking into specific detail, then this man cannot control himself because of a crop top, because of a leggings, because of a naked woman. No, that there's something very mismanaged about that information. So yeah, we need to continue teaching digital safety as well as media literacy in different spaces, in schools, in workspaces, in offices, especially that have to do with public dissemination of information and media houses. And we need to continue working with platforms and civil society, Power 254, Power Radio, to label and remove gender disinformation. That's exactly why we're having this conversation. So if you're a digital rights organization, come, let's have this conversation. You're a tech company, let's have this conversation, because you guys are helping people communicate. You're a university, somebody somewhere, you are a youth NGO, come, let's have those conversations, because we are the ones that are going to change the narrative on how to not weaponize modesty while also protecting the values our culture has on women's bodies, but only values that help and protect and elevate and empower women, and not to disempower and shame women and keep them in in fear. Okay? All right. And let's look briefly at the sexualization shaming cycle. Okay? So, Kenyan society and media, you objectify and commodify women and then shame them. So you sexualize women, you commodify women, you objectify them. Oh, rangi ya dhao, mali safi. Wow, uyu msichana ko, wow, you know, booty damn, oh, onion shaped. You know, you commodify like, oh, me, I want a painting. She must be lang, she must be good looking. Lakini, that same girl or somebody trying to be like that or somebody who looks like that, being confident in themselves, is shamed. So we are taught that our values, our bodies equals attention, which equals value. So I'm going to get attention if I have a particular outlook, a particular body type, figure, dress style. And that means that I am more valuable. The less attractive I look based on this perspective, then the less value I have. Okay. And TikTok and Instagram reward revealing content with views and likes. That's how you know what society celebrates. You know what society celebrates by what is given support. And so we are supporting very revealing content in our country. And then it becomes weird, right? And Aziad Nasenya is a good example who built a brand on viral dance and outfit trends. Yes or no? She did. And then she was appraised for her curves. And then later she was shamed for the same moves. Everybody was like, oh, Aziad, and then they're like, oh, msichana ni malaya. Because why is she shaking what her mama gave her on social media? That's very confusing, right? The media actually propel sexualization, even behind a message of empowerment, right? So Kenyan music videos push artists to dance in skimpy clothes, but want them to preach modesty. The contradiction is very, very strange because the same man who is a producer in a video, naked, the stylist, they'll be told, be naked. As an artist, you're going to be advised, be naked. Okay? But the same man will not want his girlfriend or his daughter or his sister dressing like that and will be in the comment section shaming girls for being loose and hoes. So it's all about money. So we are commodifying women. We're going to sexualize them, profit from them, and then shun them as wasted goods because of something that you taught them how to do. You taught women that your value is in your titties. And let me tell you, these things are valuable. Oh my God, all your beautiful body parts, girl, they are very, very valuable. But putting a very surface level value, commodifying, like you are only valuable for those body parts. That's the problem. You are only valuable for your sexual appeal because without it, you lack value as an artist. So me, I'm very curious to know if Nikita Kering decided to dress like Adele. Adele, the British American, she's British. If Nikita Kering started dressing like Adele, what would people say? I'm very curious. I'm very, very, very curious because it's very interesting how fashion pages show luxury lifestyles. And then you question women in bikinis and braless looks. But that's what is put out there to be, beautiful and good and desirable. But in real life, you don't want to see it because social media is an illusion. No, it's not. You're actually creating and shaping narratives. You're influencing how people think. And it's very interesting because we do consume hypersexual content and then we shame those who provide voluntarily. Wow. So you don't want the videos with the modest women. But now when girls in Kenya are going on OnlyFans, you have a problem. So we have an issue as a society in that we don't seem to want women to win. So do you want women to be sexy or do you want women to cover up? Which is which? Because we need to pick a struggle, okay? We need to understand that there's so much contradiction on women's bodies. And you as an individual, I know we can't change all of society in one day, but you who's having this conversation with me by being on the other end, I need you to figure yourself out on what your opinions are. Do you judge people based on a value system that they don't carry as opposed to respectfully promoting the values that you do support? You're slut shaming women instead of speaking about modesty in a healthy way that even if I don't care for modesty, I am able to listen to what you're saying and I'm able to learn. I might be offended, but not because what you were saying was offensive. It might offend me because of what I believe, but you've done your best to say it in the most wise and respectful way. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everybody will change because we're having this conversation. I'm not saying that all of a sudden we're going to have one perspective. What I am saying is that we have very judgmental and problematic ways of interacting with the idea of women's bodies, whether from a cultural angle, a religious angle, a political angle, and social media seems to be at the center of that. Because this is where we are learning what the ideal is, okay? And I know it's for selling products, it's for selling music, it's for but who is selling this music? Is it not Kenyans? Who is consuming this music? Is it not Kenyans? Because if you don't like it, why are we not getting it banned? Okay? Why are we not canceling these people who are posing half naked? We like it as a nation. I don't mean you as an individual. I mean collectively as a nation, Kenyans celebrate half-naked girls. They celebrate sexualizing women, but qua ground, we shame them. So we have cognitive dissonance. We have a lot of cognitive dissonance, and women seem to be bearing the brunt because young girls don't know how to be. Young girls don't know how to be, and it just, is landing us with a very confused young generation, because you don't even know why you're doing the things you're doing, because there's so much confusing messaging of modesty. Like, okay, you're supposed to be a bad bee, boss babe, looking hot, looking pang, looking fly, where we can't see your figures, nothing, or you're supposed to cover up everything and then still being made fun of being a show and looking ugly. I get that. I get why young girls get confused. And social media is training us to crave the gaze. And then we get guilt tripped for taking it. You should celebrate the attention. You're trained to celebrate attention of looking good. The amount of likes and comments you're going to get versus when you're just wearing a cute dress that's not sexually appealing, that's not exposing your body in any way or form. The disparity in that tells you that people are not thinking with their brains, they're thinking with the sensual part of themselves. And honestly, that's not healthy. Okay? All right. So we need to understand that there are so many things about modesty. And on our next conversation on modesty, we're going to look at why modesty is personal as opposed to public property, which is controversial. I told you that today we're going to have a lot of contentious information, and I can't wait to dive into that. Yeah. And we are also going to talk about how modesty is not equal to invisibility. Because you're modest does not mean that you're invisible. Modesty is not covering up, is not hiding. But you could be hiding in the name of modesty. So we're going to look into that. We're going to unpack, because me, depending on where I'm at, I will wear whatever I'm comfortable with, but based on my value system. There's certain places where I might be wearing something shorter than you would expect to see me in because of where I am. For example, if we're in a hot place, I'm not going to be wearing some big long dress, okay? Because it's hot, it's impractical. But somebody somewhere might not agree with that. And it really depends on your value system and so many other aspects. So much context of, if I am somewhere in Mombasa, I am truly not going to be dressed the way you see me in Nairobi. Truly, to the point where you're like, but also there are so many things that go into it, because now where do the religious aspects come in? Muslims in Mombasa, how should they dress? Christians in Mombasa, how should they dress? If you don't care about anybody, how should you dress? Modesty is such a contentious matter, and we're going to continue unpacking, and I would love to hear what you have to say about this. So this has been today's segment of that. I can't wait to continue and finish this conversation very, very, very soon. And I'm going to leave you in the good hands of Wema Wako. This is Shani and Karira Laura, and Sishikiki by Stony Jiwe.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Shani, Laura, you already know.
Tabasamu usoni, furaha moyoni, ninaye rafiki wa kweli, mfalme wa amani. All the sorrows and the worries, nikiwa naye nyepesi. and that's why I dance and sing. I dance and sing.
Yeah. No matter where I go, I'm surrounded. And if I ever fall, I'll never take the fall. Cause your blood paid the cost, I'm not bounded. You gave me a brand new chance. Now I'm living like it's heaven on earth since I met you. Don't have to die, go to heaven just to get you. I have that here, I hold you dear. You whisper and I know that I'll make it, that's clear.
Na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu, wema wako na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu.
Yeah, let's talk about mercy, yeah, you give it every day. Talk about grace, yeah, you give it when I pray. Talk about goodness, talk about love. Talk about all the blessings that you get from above.
Welcome to the good side, the bright side.
Come as you are, yeah, your life will never be the same.
Welcome to the good side, the bright side.
Pero roho yako yote watching credit all the way.
Na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu, wema wako na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu. I'm cruising, steady moving. I'm cruising, steady moving. I'm cruising, steady moving. I'm cruising, steady moving. Wema wako na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu. Wema wako na baraka zinifuate maishani mwangu.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hey, big up 23. Ile mtami utaka. Na hii nyingine jo. Na hii nyingine jo. Hey, washaweka bounty, ju flow killer. Beat imeoga, kiopina. Nina mazai kwako tu za topina. Na vile niko ndani mzee ya I'm so ina. Si take shots na bareda. Critics hawawezi kunispot under radar. Na bring the house down, I'm a tremor. Na leta fire, I'm a flamer. Na rusha motomo. Na shikata wazai na mamokoro. So na Jesus na songa, I still roga shetani na mbaki sogo. Mosodo. Don't whine, wabambiki juu Mungu anameja na maina. Na feel ni kinda, I mean refine, I'm fine. Mokori ni jeso imebaki na saika. Sishiki kijo I mean refine, I'm fine. Cause you get that, mean I cry sweet daita. Sishiki kijo na siti shikijo I mean refine, I'm fine. Cause you get that, mean I cry sweet daita. Iko nini sina tabu. Siko steam, manyaru. Mziki mekoma, iko fit kuitwa babu. Fishers of men kwa hizi streets mi ndio nyavu. Alright, hii ndio sababu. I got the juice in madafu. Maji kwa mi majabu. Amefura utadhani taksin mashavu. Nina mwamba si ababu. Shaito simfil kalamu. Washed by his blood, damu. Kauna ni feel, usishushe yo hamu. Na don't whine, na wabambiki vile Mungu anameja na maina. Na feel ni kinda, I mean refine, I'm fine. Mokori ni jeso imebaki na saika. Sishiki kijo I mean refine, I'm fine. Cause you get that, mean I cry sweet daita. Sishiki kijo na siti shikijo I mean refine, I'm fine. Cause you get that, mean I cry sweet daita. You gigging with the beat. Street legit, I'm bringing the hits. Steady win the one on the field. Wicked, honey, my face. See that sponsor and lip in my bill. I'm sticking the rail. We kicking in Christ, you know the drill. Blah, woo. So I'm back in the dojo, you the Lord. Kwa hearing, ukipenda nite Frodo. Shetani anabashwa, anateta zima moto. Kuna life after death, CLA we hear YOLO. Okay, hichoki art giveaway. Madam tuko chocho, put your back into it. So lazima post nude ama utwak kujue. Na kile una post, put your fact into it. Woo, hichoki art giveaway. Madam tuko chocho, put your back into it. So lazima we utwak kujue. Na kile una post, work a fact into it. Sishi kikijo, sishi kikijo. I mean it fine and fine up. Cause you get that, me na cry sweet tighter. Sishi kikijo, na siti shikijo. I mean it fine and fine up. Cause you get that, me na cry sweet tighter. Sishi kikijo, sishi kikijo. I mean it fine and fine up. Cause you get that, me na cry sweet tighter. Sishi kikijo, na siti shikijo. I mean it fine and fine, but you get that, me na cry sweet tighter.